real property management preferred. We take the hassle out of managing residential properties.
Hey everyone, so I have Jaime Cruz here with us today. I'm going to interview him. He's with SaveOnHouseTaxes.com, and he actually protests all of our investors' property taxes as well as my rental portfolio as well. So I wanted him to kind of shed some light here today, and I know that home values are way up, and now is the time more than any to protest your taxes. So Jaime, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so I know a lot of the questions I get is, should I be protesting my taxes? So I want you to go through, let's start by you kind of give us a little background of yourself though.
Yep, absolutely.
And then we can kind of get started from there.
Yeah. So for the last 15 years, that's all we've specialized in is protesting property taxes. So every year we take our clientele or portfolio of accounts that we're representing and go down with the county and negotiate with them, try to work to see if we can lower the value that's on the tax roll, because effectively lowering the assessed value is going to save on your property tax bill. So we're regulated by the state. We have a really experienced team. We're well reviewed on Google, but it's our little niche. We specialize in protesting property taxes for Texas.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said before, the number one question that I get is, should I be protesting my taxes, right? And so tell us the pros and cons of protesting your taxes, or if there's any cons.
Yeah, the cons is a little bit harder. The pros is definitely easier. The pros is, first off, you don't want to pay more than your fair share of property taxes, right? So every year the county places a value on your property, and if you do nothing at all, that's what you're going to get taxed on, and that's where we get started. So that original value that the county sends out around April or so, we challenge it. We file a protest on it, and we research MLS and build cases trying to lower that value, attend all the hearings in hopes of lowering that value for you. So like I said earlier, if you lower it, you end up paying less in property taxes. The cons of it, if you're using someone like ourselves, I guess the 30 seconds you spent signing up and letting us would be the only downfall of it. There's really nothing negative about it. It's just upside. If a property owner is representing themselves, then yeah, there's going to be a little bit more legwork and time that's going to be involved, but it's all upside. Potential tax savings is the biggest benefit of protesting your property taxes.
And it's pretty easy to sign up with you as well. I mean, literally, we just, sign up with you and you take care of the rest of it, right?
Yeah, so we've tried to make the process as easy as possible for our clients. So we just need authorization to show the county that we're authorized to represent them. So once a client signs up with us, we file the authorization and take it from start to finish, the whole process.
Awesome. So another question that I often get is, if I protest my taxes, does that mean my house is worth less? Do you get that often?
Yeah, it is, and it's. I just think we have to think it all the way through. So if you're not selling your property, then it's probably not even something that you should be really thinking about. You don't want to pay more than your fair share of taxes. But some folks think that it's going to affect their resale value if there's a lower tax value. And we just have to put the two things separate. So you have your tax value and you have your resale value. Mm-hmm. And the tax value, so the 2022 value that we're protesting now is actually based on the 2021 market. So it's always an old value that's at least a year old. Right. When you're looking at the resale value, your realtor is going to run comps from the last few months and try to decide what your property is currently worth right now. So it's totally two different things, and no one really should be ever leaning on the tax value as a way to determine what your property is worth. So it takes a little more due diligence in that.
Yeah, awesome. So if I protest my taxes, will the appraisal district inspect my house at all or anything?
No, it doesn't. The system's not meant to be punitive. And if anything, if you go to the comptroller's page, they say your biggest right as a taxpayer is the right to protest. And so they invite you to be part of the process, and it's not going to be something that's punitive and have them come out just because you challenge the protest on it. So it's a lot of work. Texas has a lot of properties. Harris County, the surrounding counties have a lot of properties. So they're not doing it to bring more light to your property.
All right, guys. So as you can see, there are no really cons of protesting your taxes. I mean, especially right now with the values that are up. What would you say the percentage of the values that are up this year?
Yeah, so Harris County was first up, and their average increase was around 23%. So we've been doing this for 15 years,
Wow.
and haven't seen increases go up so much from one year to the next. It was a lot. And Fort Bend, I think they're closer to 30% increase over there. So we're looking at increases that we just never have seen before. So yeah, especially if it's a rental property, it definitely needs to get challenged because there's no homestead cap. There's nothing protecting that increase. If it is your primary residence and there's a buffer there that can only go up 10% from the previous year, but unfortunately we don't have that onto rental property. So we just need to make sure that we're not paying more. We all kind of realize at this point that the market was hot last year and there probably was some appreciation over the previous year. But was it 23%? Our stance is no, probably not. So we're going to try to mitigate those increases and try to save our clients some money on their property taxes.
Well, I know you've been saving us tons of money throughout the year and also all of our clients that we service. So I appreciate all that you do because this is not easy and you're probably busier now than you ever have been because of the values that are up. So
Right.
Everybody, if you're listening to this, this is the time to protest your taxes. Jaime, the deadline, tell us when the deadline is.
So May 15th is the deadline. This year it falls on a Sunday, so it gives us an extra day. We have till May 16th to get everything finalized on our protest list. And that's just to file the protest. From there, once we need to let the counties know that we're filing protest on these accounts, and then we'll get scheduled later on in the summer months. And so we won't have everything resolved until probably September, October for the whole tax roll, but May 16th is when we need to have all the accounts protested by.
Great. So
there is one caveat to that. If there was a late notice, if your property was noticed later, then you get 30 days from whenever they sent the letter. But it's a small percentage of accounts that haven't received their notice for this year.
Okay, great. So get those, protests in, guys. You have until the 16th. You said the 16th, right?
Yes.
16th.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, Jaime, how can our investors get a hold of you or anybody get a hold of you?
Yeah. So we've have a great relationship with RPM, and so we've created a link for you guys. And if it's an RPM client, it's just adding it onto that RPM link, and we'll take care of it from there. But anybody outside of RPM that's listening, that may be listening, it's just finding us on the internet, saveonhousetaxes.com, and all our contact form is on there. Again, saveonhousetaxes.com.
Awesome. And I know that we have a ton of clients that we service their investment properties, but they also want to start to protest their own homestead. And so if that's the case, Jaime will give us a separate link for that so we can separate that. But yeah, so just reach out to us or reach out to Jaime if you want to go ahead and get signed up for that. So again, thank you, Jaime, for joining us here today. And like always, you've been a blessing to our organization and saved our clients tons of money. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having us again, Joni.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.